This event was designed for an audience. It started anyway. No one scheduled it for today. No one logged in to start it. No one is watching it end. The server doesn't know the difference. In 1995, before social media, before smartphones, before most people had ever been inside a 3D space online, a small company in Massachusetts built a persistent virtual world. People came, they built cities, they made friends. Some of them built entire neighborhoods that existed only here, on someone else's server, on a platform most of the world had never heard of. At its peak, Active Worlds had over 600,000 registered users across dozens of persistent, always online virtual worlds. Most of those users are gone now, but the platform isn't. In May 2023, they released version 8.2, 31 years old, still shipping updates. So here's the question. If the company is still there, still updating, still running servers, why does entering the world feel like this? When you walk into a real abandoned building, there are signs, broken glass, rust, ceilings sagging under years of water. The physical world demands entropy. Digital space doesn't. The house someone built here in 2001 looks exactly the same as the day they placed the last object. Not restored, not maintained, just unchanged. Because nothing in this environment can age. That door just opened, not because someone is here, because a script is running. That light just turned on, because it always does at this hour. Active Worlds has supported automated bots since 1999. Their own newsletter documented it that year. Bots designed for chat, for running in-world games, for administration. They were always there to make the space feel inhabited when the administrator stepped away. They were never designed for this, for a world where stepping away became permanent. Scripts running, lights cycling, bots greeting empty streets. Someone is paying for this. The question is, what is it costing them? At 4 a.m. every day, the server restarts. Not because a person tells it to, because someone wrote this line once and never needed to touch it again. Cron doesn't know what year it is. It doesn't know if the world has players. It doesn't know if the company is thriving or barely surviving. It knows one thing: what time it is. Inside the server, a loop runs, over and over. It updates the world state. It spawns entities according to a table. It checks the event schedule. It runs the bots. Then it starts again. The loop has no condition for human absence. It has no check for player count. Absence is not a state the loop can detect. Think about what that actually means. This server processed thousands of cycles today. For no one. Not as an error, not as a malfunction, not as a sign that something went wrong. Exactly as designed. Now, the cost of running all of this. A small virtual world like this, a legacy server with minimal concurrent connections, runs on infrastructure you can rent for less than you spend on coffee in a month. The server bill for a ghost town is nearly nothing. Which means the question isn't, why hasn't someone shut it down? The question is, why would they bother?
For the last 5 minutes, you've been looking for a mystery. Someone must be watching this. Someone must be responsible. Someone, somewhere, is keeping this alive out of love, or habit, or inertia.
Here's what's actually true. Active Worlds, Inc. exists. They have a legal address in Newburyport, Massachusetts.
They ship updates. Version 8.2 came out in 2023. Someone there makes decisions about this platform, and the decision they've made, over and over, is the quietest possible one. The world isn't running because someone is passionate about it. It's running because shutting it down would cost more effort than leaving it on. The machinery of maintenance has been reduced to almost nothing. Not abandoned, not forgotten, just cheap enough to ignore. Go back to the first minute of this video. That door that opened, that light that turned on, that event that fired for no one. You were looking for a ghost in the machine. The machine is the ghost. And the people who built it, they're still there. They just have nothing left to say to it. In 2016, a Twitch streamer named Vinny from a group called Vine Sauce decided to explore active worlds live in front of an audience. He wandered through worlds their builders had left behind, buildings with care in them, structures that took time, spaces someone was proud of, all preserved, all silent. His chat went quiet for long stretches, not because nothing was happening, because something was, and no one had words for it. But here's the part that changes everything. During that stream, the login servers crashed. Not from a ghost, not from a glitch, from traffic. Thousands of new users registered that night because of the stream. There was a user, someone who had been in active worlds for years, known inside the community. She appeared during the stream, in the world where Vinny was exploring. She'd been there before he arrived. She was there when he noticed her. She wasn't a bot. She wasn't an NPC. She was a person who never left. That's the detail that undoes the clean narrative. This isn't a perfect ghost town. It's something more complicated. A world that lost almost all of its people, but not quite all of them. A handful who stayed, who still log in, who still exist in a space that the rest of the world forgot about. The real question isn't what happens to a world with no users. It's what happens to the ones who stayed. Then why do online worlds ever die? If the server costs almost nothing, if the cron job keeps running, if a handful of users never leave, what actually ends it? Server death isn't passive. It requires a specific act of termination. Someone has to reach in and stop it. Neglect alone isn't enough. Neglect just produces this. There's a specific kind of unease in a system that doesn't register absence. We build these worlds to hold human experience, connection, memory, time spent together in a place that doesn't physically exist. And when most of the humans leave, the world doesn't notice. It doesn't slow down. It doesn't grieve. It just continues. That event just ran for the 10,000th time since the last peak of this platform. Every run complete. Every run logged. Every run absolutely indifferent to whether anyone was watching. A real city left behind by humans is reclaimed. Plants in the streets. Silence that smells like something. This place will never be reclaimed. It will stay exactly what it was. A city for people. Until someone makes the active, effortful choice to destroy it. And given that destroying it costs more than running it, that choice may never come. Active Worlds launched in 1995. 31 years later, the servers are still on. The bots are still greeting empty hallways. The events are still firing on schedule. And somewhere in there, a handful of people who never stopped logging in. The company charges almost nothing to keep this alive, so they don't turn it off. When the last one stops logging in, will anyone notice?